Welcome back to the crypto simulation. Anything that I tell you in these videos is not financial advice. Should always talk to a financial advisor. I'm not one. Price predictions, entertainment only. I do my best, but you should also do your own research. Also, join my free Telegram group, the Snake Pit. I am the Gaussian Snake, and you will find me there as well as nearly 100 other people. It's free, it's fun, we love to talk crypto. So this is the DYMension website. This is a fairly new project. It's only been out on the market for a very short time, and therefore I won't be able to do a very detailed chart analysis of it, but let's see if this is a project worth exploring. So right off the bat, their website is really eye-catching. I love the use of this color gradient, and I love how they tell you what they're all about, which are RollApps. And if you're wondering what those are, don't worry, I was too. So if you remember, Cosmos was sort of the OG of interoperability. That's what their whole thesis was about when they came on the scene. And we've had other chains since then kind of pick up that baton, like Polkadot did last cycle. We have Polygon kind of running with it this cycle. But I think all major chains that want to stay around are working towards interoperability, and that is the future of the crypto space. So RollApps give developers a way to develop apps that can be used across many different blockchains. So creating a certain type of interoperability for decentralized applications. RollApps offer a really nice way for developers and users to experience a scalable, secure, and seamless experience across multiple blockchains. Developers can make apps that function across different blockchains and that can give a very unique kind of experience to users who will enjoy the convenience of not being, pigeonholed into one network or another. And that is really part of the ethos of decentralization and interoperability that kind of traces back to Cosmos. And RollApps was developed using the Cosmos SDK, or software development kit. So this is just kind of like, I view it as Cosmos' little child. Although Cosmos has many little children, like Osmosis and things like that. But RollApps are something really new and unique to the space, and I feel like they're going to kind of tie into that whole interoperability narrative that many successful chains, the ones that are going to be successful, are picking up. DYMension is a tiny Israeli company born out of Tel Aviv, private company, and they've been around since 2022. I know they recently did some airdrops to different chains. I can't remember exactly which ones. I think Celestia, Cosmos, and a few others. And I unfortunately can't find any information about their team, which is usually for me a little bit of a concern. I like to know who's the team behind the project. I scoured the website and I did as many searches as I could, and I could not find any information about the team. So we'll kind of start with that. So I tried to get into their Discord, and there's really not much here. It says there's like 135,000 users. And then I got this message from a bot saying, we're currently experiencing an attempt to Sybil attack the server. Getting into the server might receive some time. I'm assuming that's the Discord server and has nothing to do with the DYMension protocol, but nothing much here in the Discord to look at. Their Telegram is just an announcements channel, and they do have a fairly active announcements with a lot of pinned messages, but there's really no indication of any type of solid community in this, and it's a little bit concerning. I also was on their Twitter page, and while they have frequent announcements, I'm just not seeing a lot of people talking within these groups, really not much at all. As you can tell, Discord got compromised, most likely it's that, not DYMension itself, and just an announcements channel. That's really all that there is here. So the DYMension Twitter has quite a bit of posts on here. Some of them are a little bit funny. And this is where you find some information about one of their proposals, I guess, proposal number 1 in their DAO. So owning the DYMension token, I believe, entitles you to participation in their DAO, or decentralized autonomous organization. This one had to do something with MetaMask voting. And you can see that they are quite active on their Twitter. But again, I feel like this project is missing is the actual community. Like, I can't find it anywhere. So next thing I wanted to look at is to try to understand RollApps a little bit better. They have a really good article that they posted on April 5th, 2023 that explains this really well. I gotta say, like, this concept is really cool and very intriguing. So their RDK or roll app, sorry if I'm calling it roll apps development kit. This enables online communities and applications to operate in a decentralized, autonomous, and secure way. And I talked about that earlier, how this is going to allow for both developers and users to basically run in a very multi-chain environment to run very efficiently. And the goal of this is to experiment and find the optimal economic and technological structure that allows an online collective to operate efficiently and securely. I mean, that is so powerful. And I love the thesis of this project. I mean, it is something that I feel like this space desperately needs. I also talk here about the separation of computation and governance, and they achieve that by basically allowing node operators to produce blocks on a roll app and become sequencers. And this idea is similar in some ways to the way validators work in a proof of stake blockchain. Um, Allocated time is derived from the relative share of tokens bonded on a Dymension hub, creating an open and decentralized system. So, very similar idea to proof of stake. And it's this basically, this is the idea in their restaking model. Sequencers bond their hub's native token for the right to produce blocks on the roll app, and using Dymension's automated market maker, or AMM, sequencers will be able to stake the native token of a roll app once it's approved by the hub's governance. And the AMMs enables the bonding of LP or liquidity positions. Dymension Hub's native protocol token, DIM, is required to be established as the base asset of liquidity pools to be eligible. And the other side is the RollApp's own native token. And so they say this is similar to superfluid staking, and this is something that the Osmosis team under Cosmos has already done. So part 2, governors govern the RollApp. So while the sequencers act in charge of node operation and producing blocks, the governors manage the on-chain governance. And so this is kind of like the idea of a DAO. The RDK allows for application developers to use NFTs, SBTs, soulbound tokens, delegation to addresses, other creative means of separating governance obligations from block producers. So they act as RollApp board members, the governors, or elected representatives, and their power comes from token delegations. So again, very similar to proof of stake governance. I don't notice too much of a difference here. And they named the 3 different types of elements to this governance. They've got the working class, which are the RollApp block producers, the sequencers, Parliament, the RollApp governors, and citizens, RollApp token holders. I'm not so sure I like that. It's kind of funny though. Anyways, this Medium article is developed on, or is on their main website, and you can kind of go through and read and get into the weeds with this. But I think the bottom line is that this is a highly creative and revolutionary system that, if it works as intended, could really change this space for the better. If you've been following my channel since the last week and a half, you know that I'm not a fan of inflationary tokens. I'm just not. Dymension's fully diluted market cap is a staggering, it's a staggering $7.2 billion. Wow, that's huge. But their total market cap is only about $1 million. If you want to convert that into tokenomics, they have a fixed supply of 1 billion Dymension tokens, of which only 146 million are circulating, which is, to me, a little concerning. But it doesn't, necessarily mean the project's going to fail or anything. It's just I don't like that. It does have a very healthy volume to market cap ratio for the past 24 hours at around 9%. We do like to see that. That means liquidity is sufficient on the chain and trades are happening without much of a hitch. So I do like to see that. So a little bit further of a breakdown of their tokenomics can be found here. You've got 33% going to the incentives, the on-chain DAO. Ecosystem and research and development gets 20%. Core contributing team, 20%. Backers, 14%. So that's like 34% kind of going into the pockets of the developers. Public allocation, 8%. And the community pool, on-chain DAO, 5%. Not super crazy about those tokenomics, but I've definitely seen worse. And you can see the token unlocks, if we look here, it is a pretty steady unlock schedule all the way till it looks like about January of 2025, and then it really ramps up. So if the bulk of the bull market moves happen this year, then it doesn't seem like inflation will have too much of an effect on the token price. But beginning in 2025, you bet your bottom dollar it will. Look at that slope. That is insane. Now, DYMension is available on a bunch of different chains, but the first one that popped up and the one that was also first on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap was the Binance Smart Chain, smart contract. It did not get a good DeFi score. It had a DeFi score of 37, and it's got a bunch of red flags. Mintable, a large amount of this token could be minted by a private wallet or contract, missing liquidity, dump risk, inaccurate supply, potential honeypot, no interaction with a smart contract in 30 days. Those things, if they're true, certainly concern me. I did go through and try to look at some other smart contracts. They all had poor scores or no scores at all. So that definitely is something that I would keep an eye on. Hey, taking a look at their GitHub, it is being updated pretty regularly. You've got the laboratory on Osmosis 5 minutes ago, DYMension Hub 17 minutes ago, Chain Registry 28 minutes ago, the RDK 7 hours ago. So I liked seeing that all this stuff is being updated regularly. Their technical presentation and their white paper is fantastic. I mean, they explain how RollApps work and how the whole system works in great detail, so that I think any software developer would be able to come in here and really easily understand what this is and how it works. It doesn't explain anything about the team. There's no mention of the team in here, and there's no mention of tokenomics. So it's not very investor friendly, but it is extremely developer friendly. And that's kind of how I'm feeling about this chain in general. I don't have a lot of data to work with as far as price goes. I've got about a week's worth of data here. And yeah, here's the airdrop wick. Boy, that went high, didn't it? And then we entered into a traditional logarithmic channel. Now I have this on the hourly. And you might say, you can't do TA on the hourly with such an early project. Well, I challenge that. Actually, yes, you can. It is difficult, but look, you can get a bull market, bear market fractal on the hourly, and you can see these are the standard deviation lines I use for every other project, plus or minus 3 in either direction, and increments of 0.5. So you can see that we go up to the mean line, get above it, go all the way to up to here to $8.40, and then right now we find ourselves trending down towards about $7.20. Weighted Bollinger Bands, logarithmic Bollinger Bands, are you got price chopping from upper to lower, and the bands are squeezing. So I would expect that a big move is coming one way or the other. The all chart patterns is predicting that this is a falling wedge with a triple bottom, and therefore the most likely break of these Bollinger Bands is to the upside, and they're giving an upside target around $8.50. I would not take this price prediction too seriously, but that certainly is possible, and looking at the way this is developing, I wouldn't at all be surprised with another upside move coming soon. Hey, on the hourly, RSI and Stochastic is heading in the right direction. This thing's primed for a breakout. I mean, I'm not going to lie, but this is also the hourly, so keep in mind there's a lot of volatility on an hourly chart. The Gaussian filter MACD shows a general decrease in volatility. Again, that's looking like you're probably getting a big move pretty soon. The volume trailing off like this, again, I'm just seeing nothing but big move coming soon, probably to the upside. So here's the 411. Here's what I think. Is DYMension a good long-term investment? I don't think so. I would not trust holding this project long-term. That's just me. Could it be a good short-term swing play? Absolutely. I think if you're holding this coin right now, you've got a good chance at making some gains. Make your gains and get out of there. Don't stick around for the inflation. I do not trust this project. I don't trust a project that hides their team and is very sketchy about their tokenomics and the way that they refer to the token holders in that document that we looked at. I forget, it's a Medium article from April 2023, the Parliament and the working class. It sounds very feudalistic, somewhat. So I don't know. I don't get a great gut feeling about this project. I'm personally not. I should tell you, I'm not invested in it, nor do I plan to invest in it. But I think if you're holding it, if it was airdropped to you, and you're doing a short term play, I think you could make out pretty well with this project. Maybe you could ride it up in a nice mania phase, for all we know. Um, but I don't trust this long term from an investing point of view. I think they have some very ambitious ideas. From a software development point of view, this looks awesome, and if I were a developer, I'd be all over this project, screwing around with it, and working on developing new blockchains, and and seeing like how that goes. Like I'd be totally down with that. Concerned about the lack of community, so that's a red flag for me. I always look for community in a project. So uh, my vote is yes for developers. Check it out, play with it. Yes for short-term holding and maybe a little bit of a swing play. No for long-term investing. I would personally stay away from this project. Like I said, as an investor for a long-term hold, is too risky for me. Just too risky. Thanks for joining me tonight in the crypto simulation to talk about DYMension, which is a really exciting project. I encourage you to review all the documents that I'll post or all the links that I'll post in the YouTube video description so you can check out DYMension for yourself and make up your own mind. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Price predictions and information about projects is for entertainment purposes only. Once again, I do not own DYMension, nor do I plan on owning it, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't. So also, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share this content with everyone you know. The subscriptions mean a lot to me because it helps get my content out to you and to other people who are curious about crypto. And join my free Telegram group at the Snake Pit. We have almost 100 members that have joined in the past week, and I'm sure you would make a great company there. So that's all I got for you today. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you again later in the crypto simulation. Bye now.